Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Tokyo Ghoul Route A, episode 10, Last Rain. And oh my gosh, this episode is so freaking sad. Like, I was almost on the verge of tears watching this episode. It was so sad. Just the feels in this episode. Let me take a deep cleansing breath. Okay, so yeah. So of course it picks up with the last one left off at. We see like Goma and Arimi fighting off these special investigators. I cannot remember their names. They're really not that important to me. But you see like Koma and Arimi, they're fighting off the special investigators. Koma was winning at a point and then he got his stomach blown away. And it hurt my heart so bad. And it's sad because even though like Kaneki did save them in this episode, their faces have been seen, so they really can't like go out and be out like they have been doing, like working in the coffee shop, for example, because their faces have been seen. So the CCG knows what they look like now. So this episode just made me so sad. Just So after Koma got blown away, then we also see Arimi. She is fighting like 3 investigators by herself, and she landed on a balcony, and this old woman came out, and Hachikawa, I believe his name is Hachikawa. He pretty much said, blow her and the old woman, like blow Arimi and the old woman away. The old woman really is of no use to him, and he attacked them, and Arimi saved the old woman. And she was like, well, I've gone soft now, haven't I? Blah, blah, blah. And it was just, like, Arimi is awesome. I love Arimi. So she saved that old woman, even though a human being was willing to kill another human being to take out a ghoul. So that shows who has more humanity in this situation. And then Arimi, she, like, they both, her and Koma sent something, because, well, Koma saw Kaneki, because Kaneki came out of nowhere and took out the bastard that was fighting him and blew that big hole in his stomach. So Koma, he saved Koma, and then he went to help Arimi, and he messed them up without killing them. Like, he just incapacitated them, so they weren't able to do anything else, and he messed up their Quinkies. So, and then Kaneki did the finger pop, and it was just so freaking awesome. Oh my god, I just was not ready. So after that, we also see like Suzuya and Shinohara and Iwa are fighting the owl. They're fighting Yoshimura, and Suzuya is just, well, first Shinohara and Iwa were fighting Owl Yoshimura with 2 other people. I can't remember their names, and they were doing okay, but Yoshimura was regenerating too fast for them, so they really weren't doing much damage to him, or they thought they weren't. So then Shinohara called for Suzuya, and they were like, Suzuya's on his way, and he just dropped in and just started sporadically hitting Yoshimura. And Shinohara was about to scold Suzuya because he was like, we have to coordinate attacks. You darting around like that isn't going to get anything done, blah, blah, blah. And then he had a flashback of Mato, when him and Mato had a conversation, and Mato pretty much told him that you need to stop thinking with your head so much. You gotta learn how to let yourself get lost in your senses sometimes, because you can think about everything that you want to think about, but just sometimes using your instincts is a little bit better. And Shinohara remembered this, and he let Suzuya, like, Suzuya got hit and he landed in front of him, and Shinohara told him, he was like, go charge back in there. And Suzuya had like, it was like a look of awe, because he really wasn't, he didn't know, I guess he didn't know how to respond to Shinohara like praising him for being the sporadic, random, jumpy person that he is. So they all just started attacking Owl, and they finally got Owl like into, well, they got Owl out into open space, and they were about to attack him, and he Yoshimura realized, like, he had a flashback of talking to Kaneki, like when he first came to Antiku, and then he thought about like how Kaneki said he just can't stand not being able to do anything anymore. And I guess he sensed Kaneki was coming, so he climbed the rooftop, and Shinohara was like, don't let him get away, blah, blah, blah. So Yoshimura had climbed the rooftop, and Kaneki was taking out like divisions left and right. Kaneki is so freaking awesome now. And there was even a part when he was saving Arimi. Arimi was like, you had to go through a lot of things. You had to do so much to be as strong as you are now. And she was like, poor, you're such a poor kid, Kaneki. So after that, we see like Owl Yoshimura. He climbs to a rooftop, and he is confronted by Suzuya, and they just start attacking him. And while all this is happening, he's having like flashbacks, like when they were working in being at Antiku, like when he first met Toka, and he gave her a paper for school, and she was like, school, you must be out of your mind. And then they show like Yomo, and Yomo is like, I don't think I'm cut out to work in a coffee shop. And then they show Koma, and he was like, he was pretty much like, so you think you can just talk to me any type of way when you know I'm the devil ape? And then they show like and then they show him like after he was like the Koma that we know and love. And then they show like Arimi, and Arimi was like, don't talk to me any type, don't think you can talk to me like that, I'll kill you. And then they show the Arimi that we know and love, and it's so freaking sad. And Koma and Arimi, they were like, this atoning for my sins, I didn't realize it was going to be this rough, but being able to die for someone that I care about makes it worthwhile. So that really made me tear up. It was so freaking sad. And then finally when we get to the end where Yoshimura is fighting the CCG investigators like Shinohara, Iwa, Suzuya, and other two, they were messing him up bad, and they really just effed him up. He was bloody and missing body parts, and he just finally got to the point they even slashed his mask in half, and he was trying to crawl away. Like at one point they were finally finished, and he was trying to crawl away. Suzuya was about to attack him again, and Shinohara was just like, no, don't do it. So Yoshimura starts crawling away, and he sees, like, while this is happening, he sees like flashes of the people that he loves, and then he sees his wife Yukina and his baby, and then he has a flashback of talking to Kaneki, and he was like, you are the one person that has a place between humans and ghouls, and you might be that one person that can save someone who's truly lost. And he was like, hopefully, he pretty much was like, maybe you can find my child, or maybe my child can be one of those people that you can save. And Yoshimura, like, he was crawling, and his wife appeared before him, and he held out his hand, and she grabbed his hand, and she held it up to her, and it was just so sweet. He looked like he died happy. So his last, like, literally his last images was his wife that he loved so dearly, and it made me so freaking sad. I really just, I wasn't ready for the sadness. But after that, Shinohara told Maru that the owl had been exterminated, blah, 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 and everybody was cheering and yelling, and we see like Heed was there, but he wasn't really fighting, he was just kind of there. And we also saw like Toka was running, and she finally stopped, and I guess she realized that Yoshimura is dead because she was just like laid up against the building. And then Kaneki, he was like running, and then he stopped, and there was a whole bunch of investigators in front of him, and Amon was leading the pack. And Amon was like, I have encountered Eye Patch, and Maru told him to be careful. So This episode, this episode was so freaking awesome, but it was so sad. Oh my gosh, just was not prepared for the sadness at all. But it's okay though. This episode was amazing. Tokyo Ghoul is starting to redeem itself a little bit. But anyways, I'm really sad because I'm starting to see that there is a possibility that Toka might die, because she would be the one to jump out there while Kaneki is fighting and then get herself killed or get him injured from her being slow. So this episode was so freaking awesome. It was so sad. Oh my god, just was not prepared. So yeah, so as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turned out? For those of you who haven't read the manga, I would love to hear how you think things are going to turn out between the fight between Kaneki and Amon. But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.